question we got is from Tomer.
Hey Landry, good to see you. After the events, I guess, leading up to Wednesday night's meetings and some of the meetings on Thursday, what was your level of optimism or pessimism that you guys were going to walk away from Orlando, there was going to be no season?
For me, just how quickly moving everything was from when Milwaukee decided to do what they did, and kind of seeing the domino effect after that of kind of how things played out. There was, for a second, you're obviously thinking about that. Like this could get shut down pretty quick. Seeing other leagues doing it, kind of knowing the impact that we had on really the world. For those like 48 hours. So it was real, something that crossed my mind for sure. Obviously wanted to make sure I was prepared for either situation. But ultimately I think, there's a lot of guys here that, one, love basketball, and two, realize that, without this kind of platform, you guys aren't asking me these questions in this setting, and I'm not able to express my opinion on a variety of things. So I think that's big, and ultimately I felt like we were going to be okay.
The next question is going to come from Andrew.
Hey Landry, good to see you. I guess considering all that's been invested in going after a championship with this team this year, what did that tell you about what the team wanted when they voted? Hey, we don't know if this is right to continue.
Well, with that, it wasn't none of this. One thing that I think is getting lost in all this isn't about wanting to play basketball. We want to play basketball. We're professional basketball players. This is what we love to do. It's what we want to do. It's a matter of, with everything going on in the world, socially, racially, it was a matter of, like, we don't know what the right thing to do is. You could go a variety of different ways and do pros and cons of each, and that was just a vote on our team of what, certain guys wanted to play and certain guys didn't, thinking that could ultimately make the best social impact. It's not a question of do we want to win a championship, because we do. That's all we think about. We're back locked in. We're here. That's our one goal. So that's not the question at all. That hasn't changed. That won't change as long as this group's together.
We've got time for a few more questions for you. Next question is going to come from Miriam.
So you sort of talked about being locked in. Is it challenging to sort of compartmentalize a little bit, like, all the big issues that matter to you guys and basketball? And then also, was there a benefit to just kind of being a couple days off to breathe, as Doc said?
Yeah, no, for sure. I think that's one thing that we hadn't really had time to, one, collectively as all the players come together and really, get to address some of the issues that we did, and just be able to talk and have some good conversation. And then personally, like me, just being able to sit in my room and kind of just cope and reflect on everything that's happened. It was therapeutic to a sense. It was hard. It's been, weird and painful, but I think it's important, like you said, just to be able to cope with certain things, just to have that step away for a split second.
We've got time for one more question. We're going to go to Cassidy in Orlando, and then we're going to move on to that.
Landry, Paul George said that he had a lot of people coming up to him saying that he appreciated him coming out and talking about his mental health. Did it have an impact on you, or did you hit the impact of him expressing those feelings on other players around?
Well, first off, anybody who, if you can, have the courage to come out and speak about, what's going on in your head and mentally, psychologically, that's, I don't care who you are, if you're Paul George or if you're, regular person on the street, like that's empowering, and should be taken that way from anybody who was able to see it and hear it. So obviously, first off, I'm proud of him for being able to, be open about that. And secondly, I think obviously, like I just said, if it's a Paul George doing that, saying that, then, it shows the reality that regardless of who you are, we all we all have our things that we have to deal with and cope with, and can visit those dark places sometimes. So it should be eye-opening and received well by anybody who heard it.
Thanks, Landry.
Yep.
Thanks, Landry.
No problem, guys.